let me resume this recording. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and as people hop on, we can just, obviously their question will come in. But everybody, I want to just really quickly, for those of you who may not know her, I want to introduce you to one of our fabulous Diamond Uplines, Miss Roz Payne. I have known her almost my entire growing up, and well, let me mute everybody real quick. Okay, so I've muted everybody, so when it's your turn or whatever, we'll just unmute yourself. It's in the bottom left-hand corner. But as we were preparing for this Q&A, you know, I just told everybody, you want to be on this call. Roz is seriously like the most real, authentic person in this business. And if you're just, Roz, you're just one of these people that I've looked up to the entire time, and I trust you. Anything that you say, I take it and I do it because, you know, when you just can relate to people and you can see yourself living the life that this person is living, you just gravitate towards that. And so, you know, that is why I have just always, Roz says it, I do it, no matter what. So y'all really just soak up every word she has to say. I'm going to let you, Roz, if you don't mind, I'm going to let you just kind of briefly give your story, and then we'll start with the questions if that's okay.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Brooke. You're so darn sweet, girl. I tell you what, I'm honored to be on this call because you've got quite the rock star team here. I was telling my husband, I was like, I'm about to talk to a bunch of girls who know what's going on. They know how to run their business. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome to see you all grow at the pace that you all have grown in 2016, 2017, when a lot of other teams and a lot of our sidelines have been pretty stagnant. You guys have continued to grow. You've continued to, whether it's at a nice, easy pace or at a faster pace, you guys have a pace. There's so many other teams out there that don't, and it's very impressive. You all are so committed, and you guys have your head down, and you guys just get to work, and Brooke leads the charge, and it's been unbelievably impressive to watch. So I'm super proud of you guys. I'll give you just my story real quick in a little nutshell. I'm a Diamond Gold ambassador with Plexus. I've been with Plexus since June of 2013. Signed up under my best friend. Some of you guys might know her. Her name is Celeste Quinn. She is now the #1 ambassador in Plexus worldwide. And it's crazy because she's never worked a day in her life, which is insane. And so when she signed up to become an ambassador, being her best friend, I was the first one she called. And she's like, Roz, we totally got to do this business together. And she just started yapping. And I'm like, dude, I'm so not interested at all. I shot her down immediately. I was an awesome friend. I pretty much told her she's crazy. I told her that everybody's just going to be jumping off this bridge with her. I said, I was awful. But I mean, she's my best friend. So we were very real with each other. I'm like, are you sure you're going to do this stuff? I mean, this is like network marketing. I was just such a skeptic, y'all. I worked in advertising for 19 years. I had a college degree, had worked up the ranks in advertising, and I pretty much thought that's what you did. That you always got a job working for somebody, a big company, and you worked your way up the corporate ladder, and that's how you became successful. Never had I ever seen anything in network marketing be a success. You know, I'd had friends who'd done things like Pampered Chef and Homemade Gourmet and all these older ones, and then Arbonne and Mary Kay. And, you know, I didn't see anybody come out of any of those on top, ever. So all of my, you know, my perception of network marketing was just, you know, parties. It was cheesy. I didn't want to sell to friends. You know, probably a lot of stuff that we all thought too. But the difference was, all my friends that I did life with before Plexus, they were all signing up under Celeste. They were either signing up as an ambassador or a customer of hers, and all of them were making money that were doing it as a business. And these are girls that I would do girls' weekends with, that I did life with, and they were signing up right and left, and their businesses were just exploding. And I was seeing they weren't selling. None of them were. They were on there saying how great everything was and how great they felt. And back then, you know, I mean, so many people were just pounding on it, and nothing bad was coming out of Plexus. That's really what I mean to say. And so, it was my husband that really was the believer before I was. Because, these are all of our mutual friends. So he's on Facebook and he's like, Roz, your friends are like blowing up these businesses. Are they for real? I remember Celeste one time, so our kids go to a private Christian school. I live in McKinney, Texas, by the way. It's north of Dallas. And our kids go to this really little school, about 600 kids in the whole school from pre-K to seniors. And she did a post that said that in one paycheck, I paid for my kids' entire tuition. And that raised a lot of heads in our circle because we all know exactly how much 1 year's tuition is at that school, and it isn't cheap. And we were like, did she really just say that? And they like made me go find out, Roz, go find out if that's like true. And I did. I'm like, girl, show me what this paycheck is. And she literally walked into my office because I worked at the school at the time. I ran their marketing and their advertising. She just slapped her paper check down on my desk, and it was like $12,000 or something like that. And I was like, you've barely been doing this. What? This is crazy. I was shocked. And it made me mad too, because I'm like, I worked for 19 years to get where I am. And you're like totally making way more than I am. And so that kind of got my ears perked up of, okay, network marketing as a business must have some legs. There must be some validity to what they're doing because it's working. And I saw all of them loving the products. I saw them losing weight and feeling better and getting off antidepressants and whatever else they all were. I decided to try the pink drink. I tried it. I liked it. I was worried because I have a heart condition. It's called paroxysmal atrial tachycardia. And it's where my heart would take off at irregular beats, going about 180 to 200 beats a minute. And sometimes when I would take stuff over the counter and prescription stuff, it would affect my heart. And so I told her, I was like, I don't want to do anything to mess up my heart. And she's like, oh, just take this list of ingredients to your doctor, see what he says. If not for you, for me, let's vet it out. So I did. And I had 3 medical professionals look at this list, y'all. And they were like, there is nothing in here that can hurt you. I gave it to my son's naturopath. He looked at it and he was like, you know what? There's some ingredients in here that I give to your son. And I was like, huh. And then I gave it to a holistic health coach in Dallas, and she was ready to tear it up. And she told me she was. She was like, oh, send that to me, girl. I'm sure that some, it's whatever the latest and greatest is. So she looks at it, she vets it out, and she calls me back and she's like, this stuff's really kind of legit, and I'm kind of interested. And now she's a Emerald Ambassador on my team. Her name is Kim Pollock. Y'all might know her. I've been friends with Kim for probably, 19 years. I guess we used to work in advertising together. But, so I'm getting all these nods, and I decided, okay, I'll try it. I tried it. I liked it. It didn't affect my heart. I didn't have that racing heart like I thought I was going to have. Just let me mute this. Can y'all still hear me? Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't have the racing heart. I had the sustained energy. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all. And that allowed me to kind of start believing in the products a little bit. And then it wasn't until my husband reached out to me and he's like, listen, all your friends are doing really, really well with this. Why don't you give this a shot? I was working 3 jobs, y'all. I worked full-time at my kids' school, like I said. I also used to own an ad agency at one point in time in my career, and the recession of 2007 completely wiped us out. So I had a couple leftover clients that I was working for 2 businesses, and it was just like I was always working. I was always working. My kids never really got to have the mom that I wanted to be. I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to that. I'm like always working for somebody else that owned my time. He owned, when I had to sit in that seat, when I could take a vacation day. I've told the story at a couple of meetings, I guess some opportunity meetings, that I worked for a company at one point that it was a really small company, and we had a snow day, and I was so excited. My kids were little. They were like probably 6 and 8, I think. And I was so excited because it doesn't snow very much in Texas, and that I was going to get to, go play in the snow with the kids and take pictures, and got the video camera out. And my boss called me and he said, hey, listen, everyone's coming in today. I've got a 4-wheel drive. I'm going to come by and pick everybody up. And I hung up the phone and just started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a snow day and I can't even enjoy this life with my kids. Rare occasion. I haven't snowed in 2 years right now in Texas. And so it was a big deal to me. And it still, that still bothers me. It still just gets to me because I know there's so many other moms out there like that just want the freedom just to be a mom. We all deserve that. But, in 2017, you just can't survive anymore on one income. And if you do have one income, you're barely making it. And there's so much stress, and your husband's stressed, and you're stressed because you guys can't do what you want to do, especially if you have more. I only have 2 kids. Most people on my team have 3+ kids. Y'all, it's just expensive. And it's a scary place to be, to feel that you don't have any hope of getting out of where you are. And that's where I was, and that's where I lived for a long time. I mean, John and I, my husband's John, we never let ourselves dream bigger than our paychecks, because we felt like, why do that? Why do that? Because we'll never get there. And we didn't want to let ourselves down, because we had worked so hard, and we thought there's no way we can work harder than what we're working right now. So looking at the idea of running yet another business, this Plexus business, I didn't know how in the world I was going to do it. And I have a son who's high functioning on the autism spectrum, and he was needing a therapy. It was a neurotherapy, kind of a brain mapping, if you will. And I wanted to offer it to him. I couldn't afford it. It was $1,000 out of pocket every month. My insurance company refused to pay for it for him, and I was scared to pieces, because he was going to middle school. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready mentally. I wasn't ready to let him go. I was scared to death for him. I just thought they're going to eat him alive at the school. And I can't even offer him a therapy that I know he needs. And I know he needs to be stronger mentally. And it was just a really hard time. And so when my husband said, what if we did this and it could pay for Colton's therapy? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, I'm going to make $1,000 doing this. Yeah. And he's like, well, let's just see. And I said, okay, all right. Since it's for my son, because it's a totally different ballgame. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, because prior, all I was thinking about was myself. But you put my child in front of me, and it was just a complete paradigm shift. I was like, okay, I will knock down walls for that child. If this is for him, I will do anything I can to help him. But I guarantee you, we'll probably make a couple $100, and we're going to pray through the rest, because there is no way that I can make $1,000 doing this. So I called Celeste, and I told her I'm going to do it. She's like, all right, girl, let's go. And I still have the notebook. Actually, I had it. I had a visual. It's around here somewhere. I think it's in the other room, of the very first notes I took. It was one page. I sat down. I said, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this Plexus thing? I wrote down one page of notes, got off the phone with her, and I took off in the business. On my first full month with Plexus, I made $1,200 commission. And y'all, I tell you what, that $1,000 was glorious. It was a huge answer to prayer. But that extra $200 was the Lord's way of waving it in my face, saying, hey, this can be something greater. This is an opportunity. You need to grab at this golden ring, because this can be your out. And I told my husband, I said, you know what, this is amazing that this really just happened. And secondly, what if I could retire? What if I could be home with the kids? And I was ready. I was like, I'm going to give this a shot. If I can do what I did, and y'all, I did not do a lot. If I can do what I did and make $1,200, what if I actually put some effort into this? What if I actually reached out to people? What if I actually really, really legitimately ran this as a business? What could I do? I'd run a lot of businesses in my past. I knew how to multitask. I knew how to manage things. So I thought, what if I take that skill set and put it towards this? What can we do with it? And I was so excited because of that extra $200. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. I called Celeste back. I'm like, all right, dude, I made a lot of money this month, so I'm gonna go for this. And she's like, oh my gosh, she was so excited. And I did it. I just put my head down again, took off. Took me a while. I guess I was sat at silver for 4 or 5 months, I guess. June, July, 5 months. Hit gold after 5 months. That was hard. That was a hard time for me, silver to gold. But I did it. I stuck with it, and I finally got my core runners. I call it my legs to my stool. I got my core foundation of my team. I've got my 4 or 5 legs that just I knew could rock this business, and we just all took off together. From the day I started, I guess I went emerald in 9 months. 2 months later, I went sapphire, and 3 months after that, I went diamond. It was crazy because I was able to work full-time job, 2 jobs on the side, and work this business and go sapphire while working all those hours. And I didn't work myself into the ground. That's what was crazy. And that's what I continue to tell people all the time. Like, guys, you can do this while you're working full time. You just have to be committed. You have to be willing to say, I'm going to do this every day. And I'm not going to care what people think about me, because they're not the ones paying my paycheck. They're not the ones getting my son this therapy. They're not the ones that are working to get me to not work anymore. That's all on me. So I'm like, you know what? I just bless and release those people that would heckle me or roll their eyes at me or, oh, you're just doing one of those little network marketing things. Yes, I am. And it's been a huge blessing to my family. And I cannot tell you how many people have found amazing, life-changing results from these products. But I worked in advertising for a long time, and not one time did I ever feel like something I did really mattered. Like something I was doing in my career really changed lives. But now with Plexus, it totally does. I mean, you guys get those texts and messages from your friends. I got one the other day. I got one like 3 days ago from a friend of mine I've been friends with for years. She finally got her husband to try Nerve because I put up that Nerve post the other day. And she said, Roz, you mind if I try that? I'm like, I don't mind if you try it. You can try anything, girl. Tries it. And after 2 weeks, she's like, I don't know. He hasn't really felt anything. I said, just do me a favor. Keep him on it for 2 months, girl. You can get all your money back. But just give it a shot. It's a win-win. She's like, okay, I'll stick to it. Week 4, he started getting feeling back in his hands. And she's freaking out on me. She's so excited. She's coming to this training. She hadn't even signed up, and she's going to come to a one-on-one training of mine on Wednesday night. Because it's changing her life. And I told her that. And she was like, Roz, why aren't you screaming about this more? And I'm like, I should be. I can't because compliance has my hands tied. But I should be reaching out to more people. I should be picking up the horn and saying, I just need to let you know this. You can take the information. You can blow me off. Maybe you don't even need this. But maybe you know someone that does. If I had done that and been more intentional in the past year, her husband might have gotten this relief faster. That's what keeps me going, is knowing that what I'm doing is actually changing lives. I am not selling mascara. I am not selling handbags or candles that somebody buys. It's a luxury item. These are things that people take every day of their life. And so that's been different for me. That's a different product that we have. Men and women take this, completely different from handbags and makeup. All ages can take this. Again, completely different from handbags and makeup. So we've got a viable product, and we've got a business plan that completely obviously works, because out of those girls that I told you about that Celeste signed up, all that whole crew, all my friends, I think there's 12 of them are all diamonds. They're all my best friends. We all go to the same school. We all have the same alleged network. We really don't. We had one small network that was similar, but all the rest of us we all have different lives and different pasts. And that's who we tapped into. We all figured out who in our past lives would be the most influential, who could really rock this business, who needs it, and who could work it successfully. And that's kind of what I did. I reached out to my friends, and most of my friends, and it's interesting, when I look at different people's teams, like I look at Julia Cartier's team, and a predominant amount of her leaders and Jules were all sorority sisters. They had that commonality. My leaders, all of my core leaders, most of them except for one, were all in advertising with me. They were all advertising executives. That's what we had in common. We spoke the same language. We knew how to relate to each other. We knew how to support, encourage, and work with each other. Same with Julia. You all knew how to talk to each other. You knew what made each other tick. And that's what I'm seeing on a lot of teams. I have another team that's a lot of medical professionals. We have pharmacists, nurse practitioners. They're all in one big team because they can all talk each other's language. That's been very beneficial in building my team, is finding like-minded individuals that I can relate to easily, and that because I can help build them up, and because I know how they tick. So that was a very long testimonial of me and my life. I'm now looking at the time. It's like 8:49. You're like, Roz, put a cork in it, dude. This is crazy.
No, I was just
like going on and on.
Tell me more, everybody.
You're muted, Brooke.
Oopsie. Okay, now can you, wait.
There. I don't know if I can hear you now. I can't hear you.
Now I should be good.
There, now you are.
Awesome. No, I enjoyed every single second of that. Okay, so we got a couple of questions for you, if that's okay. All right, guys, I'm going to, Tara, I see you right there. You get to be lucky number 1. So go ahead. You're unmuted. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Hey, Tara, I can't hear you. Let's see. You're not muted. Did you connect your internet, the audio and stuff? Let's see. I'll come back to you, Tara. Here. Okay. Courtney. You're ready to go. Hey, hey, hey.
Okay. Hopefully my internet is not going to be all crazy. But okay, so my question is, when you first started this business, what was your greatest fear and how did you overcome it?
Greatest fear. That's a great question. Nobody has ever asked me that. I'm a pretty outgoing person, so posting on Facebook, I wasn't fearful of it. But I guess I was afraid of sharing too much and turning people off. And I was in that same thought. I was afraid of reaching out to very powerful people. I thought they would laugh at me, roll their eyes at me, be like, oh, bless your heart, but no thanks. I was that really intimidated me. And so I made a big mistake with living in that fear is I made a separate distribution list and on Facebook. And I would only send messages to this certain distribution list. Like all the other people had no idea I was a Plexus ambassador because because Celeste and I went to the same church at the time. And our kids were at the same school. So I hid everybody at our church and at our school that we had in common. I thought, okay, everyone else, her and her little ambassadors are already talking to all them. I don't want to inundate them. And so I spoke to everybody else. Where I failed in that is there were a lot of people that I was close to at the school and the church that said, Roz, we had no idea you were doing this. And if we had, we would have joined your team. And one of them is a senior Ruby. She's almost Emerald on another team right now. Actually, there's been about 4 or 5 people that have done that. And they said, we just didn't have any idea. So what I should have done is just with wild abandon, I should have shared and said, I've drank the paint. I've drank the Kool-Aid. I'm in it with let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I feel this way. And there were a lot of people that chose to give it a shot on my team because they knew I would never have done something like this prior. Because all they knew me as a media director for years. That was my only role that I'd ever been in. So I'm bummed that I was so afraid, but it's good now because I'm able to train my teams. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. Don't. You guys, the worst they can say is no thanks, and then you move on to the next person. Right. And then a year later, when they still see you just as passionate, they're going to call you back and they're going to say, okay, maybe now I'll try it again. Yeah. I probably had 50, maybe 60 people do that. Tell me no. And then 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, call me and say, okay, I'm ready. My old boss at one of my ad agencies reached out to me the other day and said she wanted to go to lunch and hear about this opportunity. I'm like, are you crazy? But I don't think I want her to join my team. She scares me.
That's lovely. All right. Okay. Thank you, Courtney. Okay. Okay. I think you're ready now. Kara, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. I can.
Okay. Awesome. Sorry about that. Hey, Roz, my question was really just around scheduling everything. So, and what I mean by that, I have 2 kids at home. I work a full-time job, and I have found that it's just challenging to kind of gather posts, handle follow-up, everything through the day. So just wanted to kind of get some tips from you on how you were able to handle it all and make sure that you were able to follow through and follow up on everything each day.
Okay. How old are your kids?
I have a 3-year-old and an 18-month-old.
Okay, so they still nap, right?
Well, not really. I wish they did. My 18-month-old sometimes, but not my 3-year-old anymore. Okay. But my husband's really supportive, and so I've kind of told him, hey, I need to take a little bit of time, but it's still just sometimes challenging, especially through the week.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing that to let yourself off the hook a little bit is to, you always hear about people doing daily IPAs, and you have to get your daily IPA in, and then, you want to work the business, you have the drive to do it, but you physically can't get that in a day, and then you feel less than, and then it's just a cycle, and you kind of get lost in your own stress about doing the business. Cut yourself a little slack and look at how you would plan it out in a week. How much can you do in 1 week, and how can you find time? I would wake up before my family. I would wake up 30 minutes before my family, and I would put up a post. And that's all I would do. I would put up 1 or 2 really good posts, and then I would go about my day. I would take a little bit of time at my lunch break. I would put up another post and see if anybody had a question. And then I would go about my day. And then after I got my kids down, that was a big work time for me. That was, uninterrupted, even if it was an hour. And it was good too, because my husband was home and he could support me in that. But when he would get home, he would help out, and I could just go, come in an office or do something, or in a bedroom or whatever, and I could do intentional work. That's when I would reach out to people. That's when I would call back and check in on all my ambassadors, check in on my customers, and just get yourself a notebook and keep it written down and carry it. Make it a small notebook. I love the small notebooks, like these little Plexus ones, anything they give us at any of the conventions. I like these because they're big enough to put in my purse. And I would carry one about this size. And I always had it on me, so that when I did have little breaks, you're in there doing laundry, and it's just monotonous. I could easily get on and just leave a couple voice messages to people. I found little pockets of time. And instead of saying I would do this every single day, I would say this week, I'm going to reach out to 15 people this week. So some days you might, oh my gosh, I have an extra 45 minutes sitting at the doctor. I'm going to go ahead and just, text these people. And you feel really good once you've done it. But I think if you set yourself up with these expectations of somebody that's got a lot more free time, you're going to fail. And then you're going to feel like a failure. And you don't want to feel like that. So you've got to fit this business around your life. And yes, it is hard when you've got the toddlers and there really isn't a schedule and it is kind of crazy. But if you have a supportive husband and you can carve out a little bit of time, like in the morning when you wake up, a tiny bit of time at lunch, if you do like a TV time for 30 minutes or whatever you do, and just try to find these little pockets and try to stay committed to those pockets of time. People responded to me because they saw consistency. Especially in my posts. They always saw that I was posting, and they would always be like, all right, I've seen your post. And I wasn't just posting one time a day. You have completely different audiences at different times a day. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have a different set that are on in the morning than a set that's on in the evening. Teachers a lot of times can't check their Facebook at all day. So you're only reaching them morning and night. A lot of people who are office jobs, they can get on Facebook at lunch because it's lunch break. So I was leaving a morning, midday, and night post. There was one ambassador that posted so much, she drove me crazy. And I used to complain to Celeste about her. I'm like, I don't want to be her. She's driving me crazy. Okay, she's one of my best friends. But I was like, she's driving me crazy. I totally don't want to be her. But then Celeste said, she's like, but Roz, she's a single mom. And she's about to earn a car. I mean, she hit Emerald in like 6 months or something. Insane. Her name is Rainey Anderson. Her business completely exploded. And it was so funny because the minute she said that's a single mom trying to support her daughter, my outlook on her completely changed. I stopped looking at her of, oh my gosh, you're just throwing up plexuses. I was kind of like, you go. Well done. Well done for building a little business and being able to support your daughter. It was just kind of the way I looked at it. And she had to do a lot like you. I mean, she was busy and she had lots of stuff juggling and she had to figure it out. But she was like, you know what? I just took every free moment I had. The little sacrifices I made of giving up some of my free time now, I'm getting to enjoy the dividends of that residual income now. And she oozes about it. And she's a Diamond Ambassador now and extremely successful. So I hope that helps a little bit.
It does. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yes, that was great. I love what you said about the week. Look at the week and figure it out. And that way, when you have bad days or you have good days and you can squeeze it in, then you'll feel accomplished. I love that. You just, when you hear somebody else say it, it's like, oh yeah, that's great. Love that for sure. Okay, Michelle, we'll go with you. Here you go.
Hi, Roz.
Hello. Oh, there you
Can
are.
hear me? Okay. What have you prayed for over your business since you started?
Oh gosh, really for probably since day one, it's mindset. I just prayed that these women can set aside their pride and set aside any internal feelings or lack of self-worth, and that they can allow the blessings to come out of this business, that come out of the business. And there's a lot of people on my team at the beginning even that didn't think they were worth it. And I think that they just got almost scared at the success. And they would get successful and they were afraid to learn more because they didn't know what to do with it. I'm finding there was a lot of people, or I found, I guess, that had never run a business. They'd never been a leader. They'd never been in a position where other people looked up to them and said, okay, now what do we do? scared them to death. So a lot of prayer over my team of, strength, confidence, and just also for their families to be okay with this and to support them. And because, I had a lot of team members too who would come to me, and it was hard to get the hubbies on board. The hubbies were just like, and I was just like the hubbies, I'm looking at it going, I remember exactly how they felt. I said the same things they said. I thought the same things they thought. I totally get it. I mean, it was very easy for me, even when they would like pop me on a call with their husbands and just say, Roz, can you explain to me what you explained to me? I'm like, absolutely. And I was able to tell them, you guys, I know exactly how you're feeling and I get it. I would validate everything they said because I know how they felt. So it was, it was a big prayer at that time too, that the husbands, that their spouse or that their, I guess, what is it Carrie Wilkerson calls it? Brooke, what is it that Carrie Wilkerson calls your spouse or your partner?
I can't remember.
Oh.
A shareholder?
Yes, that's it. That's it. It's not even that important. It's one of those things on tip of my tongue, like a song from the 80s. I'm like, what was that? But shareholder. She says a shareholder is someone who shares in your life. You want them on board. I would pray for the shareholders a lot. Pray for the kids to understand why their mommy was working so hard when mommy probably might not have worked before. But all mommy wants is for freedom for her family, or freedom from, the stress that her husband, the vest of burden that their husband carries around for finances, and just for everybody just to understand and be okay and be comfortable with it, and also prayed over the sacrifices that these women and men were making to help their business, because in the long run, you guys, you make a few sacrifices at the beginning, the amount of residual income that comes out of this is insane. And what that means, if y'all don't know what residual income is, that's the income that comes after you've done all the work. It's not the income that comes from me picking up the phone and making the calls and doing PowerPoints and doing trainings. It's when I'm out to dinner with my family and my phone blows up and I get 3 new ambassadors while I'm having dinner with my family. That's residual income. That's income that continues to bless you even after you've laid the foundation of your business.
Yep.
I tell you, residual income is the best part of network marketing, hands down.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a great question, Michelle. Okay, next we have Yvette.
Hi, Roz.
Hello.
Okay, so my question is, I'm very serious about the business. I feel like I work hard. I am an active duty soldier, so finding time can be difficult. But I feel where I'm failing at is getting my runners and motivating my team. I get 1 or 2 and they say, I want to work this business, and I work with them and they fall off. They stop posting, and I don't know, I feel a little discouraged because I feel like my team is building kind of slowly.
Yeah. And that'll happen sometimes, and it's challenging. It really is. But the first thing I would always recommend, and you may know this, but I would definitely know the why of every single one of my level 1s and 2s. I would know why they're doing this. Why are you doing the business? If somebody says, I want to make $100, so what does that $100 mean to you? Well, that $100 means that I can, pay for, let's give it more money, $300. It can pay for a car payment. Okay, so you won't have a car unless you make a car payment. They're like, exactly, I can't get to work. I can't provide a better life for my family. So, okay, so your why is really you want to provide a better life for your family. So when you are following up with them and checking in on them, you can say, hey, how are you doing towards that $300 you were wanting to make for your car payment? Well, I'm a little bit shy. Well, hey, let's get this down on paper and we'll figure out exactly what you need to do to get to that $300. If you can spell it out to them and show them that you really only need 4 preferred customers with this certain pack with preferred bonus, and you'll go ahead and you'll make that $300. They don't have any idea it's that easy. They're just seeing a check coming in, and they're really not breaking it down and looking at it tangibly. They're just thinking, oh, I guess I just have to get 4 or 5 customers, and I don't know that many people. No, you spell it out for them. Help them figure out how to achieve their why on paper. Also, if you're checking in with them at least every 2 to 3 days when they're new ambassadors and making sure that they have everything that they need. Hey, how are you feeling? Are you posting? Are you comfortable? Well, watch their Facebook page. Are they posting? If they're not posting, maybe they don't know what to post. So in your team page, or go to your upline's team page and start queuing up posts for them to post. And when I say queue up, I mean post it on your wall, or post it if you have a team page, post it on your team page. At the end of last month, a lot of people were really eager to increase their sales because they knew as the end of the month was about to close. So in one day, I put up 13 compliant posts on my Power Team page. People were sharing them all over the place. And they were excited because I said, once you share these, get back with me and tell me if anybody got sales off of these. I was getting inboxes all day of people going, oh my gosh, Roz, I had never posted about ease before. I sold some ease. So supporting your team in terms of knowing their why, knowing what makes them tick, and helping them know how to break that down. Queuing up good posts for them to share so they can be successful. Because some of them might only know you as a Plexus ambassador. So whatever you're doing is what they're doing. So if you're not posting, they're not posting. If you're posting, they're posting. If you're not excited on your videos and talking and this and that, or posting up fun, exciting stuff on the Facebook page, they're not going to either. I learned that the hard way. I had some ambassadors join me from the East Coast, and I was the only ambassador they knew. And I got very comfortable because I was a diamond. I wasn't posting as much. I was working more with my team rather than working on my own business. And they told me, they're like, Roz, I don't know how you're doing what you're doing. You barely ever post. And I'm like, well, I used to, but look at my team page and this and that. And they were just kind of saying, we're doing everything you're doing and it's not working. But I wasn't doing the actions to get somebody to grow my own business is what I meant to say. So those are two really strong things you can do, is make sure you're knowing the why, make sure you're posting, and also make sure that you're getting the training that they need. I found that a lot of people don't really know what they can do with this business. They don't really know that people can easily make $1,000 a month. They don't really know that people that you know are making $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. Easy. All the diamonds on our team are very, very successful, making very high 5 figures a month. That's crazy. And people don't really realize that. They don't think, and so they think, well, that's so far away. They're making so much. You're like, okay, if they're making that much, then we should easily be able to make $500 a month. That's a piece of cake. And so it's showing people what the big picture is, and then saying, so let's pare that down on a really small level. If you just got 5 or 6 customers and they were all preferred, you know how much money would be in your bank right now? And people are really shocked by that. And that's a motivator. That'll drive people and that'll get people to work. And if you don't know how to break it down financially like that, ask your upline. They do. And if they don't know, go to your next upline. They will tell you. They know exactly how to break it down so that you can really show people. Because that, I tell you, and you know what else, girl? They can show their spouses that too. And that sometimes wakes them up. They're like, are you sure that's right? They're like, yeah, that's how much they make. So just giving really realistic expectations, and gosh, the bigger cheerleader you are for them, you know, that's going to be beneficial. Everybody loves encouragement. Everybody does. Even people that are successful love a little pat on the back and a nod and you're doing a great job. And for you, you know, being as busy as you are, it is the quickest, easiest, freest piece of advice and benefit you can give to your team is just a little word of encouragement. Just so, you guys are really doing great. Somebody post something, say, super proud of you for posting that. That was an awesome post. That looked great. You know, let me know if you need anything or if you have any questions. And they're like, oh, she noticed I'm working my business. Just little things. Because we don't know what a lot of our friends deal with privately, or what they struggle with. And I'm seeing a lot of people on my team over the years that really have they just don't get a lot of positive in their life. And so it's really nice to pour into some of my people and see what just that little word of encouragement does for them emotionally and for their business. So I hope that helps, hon.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
That's great. Okay, just got a couple more. Debbie, go ahead.
Hey, Roz.
Oh, hi.
Hey, I was excited when Brooke said she'd lined this call up with you, because I feel like I can relate to you so much. I too work full-time in corporate America. I'm in a technical career primarily with men, so it's been a blessing to be able to make so many friends, female friends, in Plexus. And also, it's not common knowledge, but I also work, Plexus is really my third job. I have another job that I work at night 6 days a week. So and I have teenagers, one in college and one is a freshman in high school.
Okay.
Plus, I'll tell you everything about me. I'm over 50, and I'm moving kind of slow in this. There's a lot of these girls, I could be their mamas and stuff. But one thing I've thought about, I have most of my friends are in my age group. Have you ever experienced, it seems to me that a lot of them are slow to pull the trigger, like they sit on the fence a long time, and I wasn't like real quick to say, yay, Plexus. I sat back and watched for, 3 to 4 months before I did myself. And I didn't have any intention of sharing Plexus with everybody, but I felt so good. I wanted to do that.
Okay.
I can see myself driving a Lexus, but I'm going the turtle pace getting there. I have one really fantastic level 1. She knows what she's doing. She has marketing background. She is fantastic and a great friend, but she's really the only leg I have. Everybody else they're wholesale ambassadors, or they're sometimes not. Some of those are even white lined at this point. Mm-hmm. So, do you have any advice about how to reach people, my age, to get them to give Plexus a try, even if just for 60 days?
Yeah. Well, one thing you just need to realize is that it took you a while to pull the trigger, right?
Right.
It took you a while, and you watched, and you probably did a lot of research, and you might have even been a bit of a naysayer to supplements. A lot of people of the generation 50 plus look at supplements as something that's not needed in a diet, period. They've been sold a bill of goods by their doctors and the medical professionals that all you need is a prescription medication or prescription.
Right.
So they don't see the value in it. But what that allows you to do is for you to be the one in your circle of friends to educate your circle of friends. And really to do it in not a demeaning way, but just to say, can you believe, and it could be a post of, can you believe for so many years we thought that yada, yada, yada. We thought that a Centrum 1-a-day vitamin was all we would need to meet our daily requirements. Wow, were we fooled. Things like that where you can say, where you don't point out everybody else that's wrong, you include yourself in that. Wow, it's crazy that for so many years we thought that a pill could do, a prescription medication would do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I mean, it's these little bits of education, and it's going to take a bit because these people have been taught and sold this bill of goods for 50 years.
Exactly.
I mean, I've seen it, but we've also got some amazing ambassadors. Darlene Cornelius is 65 and she's an Emerald. And she shares, she talked to me in length at Leaders Retreat 3 years ago about how challenging it was to get her friends up and going, but she did. She said, I was consistent, I was persistent, I stuck with the game, and I did everything I could to educate them. And just reaffirming with them that y'all can try this for 2 months and get all your money back. There's not one thing at CVS or Walgreens or Target or Walmart that will give you your money back if you try on a supplement.
Exactly.
Give it 2 months. Give it a shot. You have nothing to lose. What if you were able to get up? What if your, rheumatoid arthritis was, pain was diminished? What if your Crohn's disease was managed?
Right.
And that so many are suffering with autoimmune issues, and you can't talk about it on Facebook, but girl, you can inbox them all day long and you can talk to your friends about it. Put them in a group chat, not a group page. Don't invite them somewhere. Everybody hates to be invited places. Do a group chat and say, y'all, this is amazing. I want to tell you guys this story, and give them a little testimony. You know what your friends struggle with probably. That's going to be another thing. Do some investigative work and find out what your friends struggle with. You don't want to just throw darts randomly at a dartboard. You are going to tire yourselves out. And that's applicable to everybody. Right. Don't just throw darts at a random dartboard and expect your business to blow up. If you make sure you're watching Facebook and you're seeing where Plexus can fit in your friends' lives. Somebody's complaining about being tired. Somebody's complaining about their lower back pain. Somebody's complaining about their severe acne. We have things that can help every one of those. You inbox them. I did it the other day. My friend said, oh, the third round of steroids for my baby, held up an 18-month-old baby covered in eczema.
Wow.
I inboxed her so fast. I was like, Hannah, if you don't get on this stuff and give this a try, girl, I'm going to come undone. It's like, try this. You 2 months, you get your money back. Try it. I've seen babies all over the place getting high. I said, I can't post about it on Facebook. FDA doesn't let me, but I can tell you about it. You want to try it? And she's like, I do. She's like, on payday, I'll buy it. And she did 4 days ago. I woke up in the middle of the night and ding, I got a new order. I'm like, oh, it's Hannah, the baby, eczema, you know? It feels great. But it was me watching and finding where my business could fit in her life. People appreciate that. They appreciate that you are doing something to help them. You're not just trying to sell them a handbag because you want to increase your handbag sales. You want to help, period. And that's going to be a lot more poignant for people, especially your friends in your circle that's 50 plus.
Thank you very much.
I love getting, like she said, getting to know your people. And when you see a post, screenshot it, send it to them. It's a great way to follow up too. Hey, saw this, thought about you. Short, simple, to the point, but they know you're thinking about them and you're giving them great information.
And that's a good point that Brooke just said. If you screenshot it and send it to them, you're saying, this is the only reason I called you. I'm not calling you just to bother you and just to annoy you. I called you because you put this out on social media. This note right here. You threw this out on social media, so fair game. This is why I'm reaching out
to yourself.
It really is. And people are like, oh, yeah, I guess I did put that up. You're like, yeah, girl, I'm worried about you. You know, I'm really worried about you, and I'd like you to give this a try. And you know what? If not from me, go buy it from somebody else. But you just need to still give it a try. And I say that a lot to people who I know don't ever want to be sold to. I say, you can order it from me. You can order it from anybody at McKinney Christian. It doesn't matter to me, but you better give it a try, girl, because you've got to get yourself better. You've got to get back in the game. And then, you know, for most of my friends, that's exactly how I feel. And more than not, they're going to say, okay, you know, send me your website. I'll give that a shot. It's just being real and being, you know, just being in this to help people. I feel that our businesses are so much more blessed when we're in it for the right reason, y'all. I mean, be in this for the products, be in this to help people, and your business will organically grow. That's just how it works.
Amen. Amen to that. Thank you, Debbie. Okay. Last question we have, Abby.
Hey, so I was just curious about the people that are actually going to sell, like, you know, you sign up ambassadors and they just never become interested in selling. So, like, how do you find, like, what characteristics do you see on Facebook or through your friends that you think that they would be good at selling?
Anybody who can multitask, anybody who is a leader within their friend circles, anybody who's got a large, you know, this isn't everybody, but for your friends who do have a large social media audience or sphere of influence. So a sphere of influence would be the people within their circle, whether that's social media, church, school, maybe past friends of yours at jobs who are well respected. And it doesn't have to be people your age either. You know, you can reach out to past bosses, past this, and just say, this business made me think of you. You've always been a leader. You've always been, you know, you've always had such a successful business. And it made me think of you when I was thinking of who could really run an amazing Plexus business. Your name just popped to the top of my list. So I thought I would be remiss if I didn't reach out to you and just tell you about it. Some people will say, oh, thank you, you know, how cute, and move on. But hey, great. I can check them off my list and I can move on to the next person. Or they can say, you know what, that sounds great. I wouldn't be interested, but can I give that information to my sister? All of a sudden, you know, you've been given a referral. If you're reaching out to successful people, more than not, they will have successful people in their circles. So they do life with other successful people. Successful people don't surround themselves around people who are at the bottom of the barrel and don't like to work. You know, people surround themselves around people that are like themselves. So reach out to those people. You'd be shocked. That's how I kind of, you know, grabbed a lot of my people. You know, all of my main runners would be Andrea Mitchell, Susan Stern, Kim Pollock. We all worked at Ad Agency together. Melissa Shaver. I don't know if y'all know Melissa Shaver. She's on my team. She's an Emerald Ambassador. These are all women that I knew very well, who all I knew could take charge of a business, who I knew would be comfortable in leading. Now, That does not mean all Plexus leaders fit that mold. Some of the diamonds in this company are some of the shyest women you've ever seen. Y'all know who Christy Hull is? Y'all get in a crowd with Christy Hull. She is the quietest person. She will go sit quietly in a chair at a table in the back. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? She's like, oh, Roz, I'm just not a big crowds person. And you would never think it. But she is the strongest ambassador. She's huge. Heather Burke, oh my gosh, amazing, legitimate diamond ambassador. And she's so quiet and she's so just meek, and I love her to pieces. So you don't have, and then you've got the ones that bounce off the walls, and you get your Helens and your Sonias and your Sarah Marbles, and they're all like, wow, and you're like, I'll never be like that. That's okay. You don't have to be like that to be a leader, but you just have to love your team. And I think if you just work your business with integrity and character, your team will do the same. And you'll build a strong team that way. If you're uncomfortable with the idea of leading or thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to put a microphone in my hand and I'm going to have to speak in front of people. No. Y'all, one of my uplines, I guess I'm her level 6, Jennifer Poole. I don't know if y'all know her. She was our big ambassador before Destination Diamond started, before the team started. And she is a massive team, hundreds of thousands of ambassadors under her. And she will not speak at any event. Leaders Retreat, Super Saturday, Opportunity of a Lifetime, nothing. She has an issue with speaking and doing public speaking. But she is one of the most successful ambassadors in Plexus.
Wow.
So I say, Abby, I'm giving you the characteristics of strong leaders, but I also don't want you to prejudge. I wouldn't want you to not offer the opportunity to somebody because you think, oh, she's not going to be that good. She's not going to do that great. Because I got one leader on my team who was so quiet and so shy in school. She's also an Emerald Ambassador on my team. And she blew this business up because she got the right people on her team. And that's all it took. So.
Awesome. Hey, Brianna typed a question real quick. She said, what is a good response to those that are really interested in Plexus but turn away because of the money factor? They say they will have to wait until they have money first.
Some people will have to wait, and you have to be patient, allow them to do that. There's quite a few that I've allowed to wait. It's easy to say, well, girl, I'll flip you the money to sign up. But I tell you what, if they have a vested interest in this business financially, they are much more apt to work the business. It's like, I can work hard to give someone money to, something's going on with my computer. Just a second. I can throw money at somebody and have them sign up on my team, but what, they're just going to white line the next month. I don't want to waste my fill on my team with people who I know won't work the business. So I'm patient with them. If they have issues signing up, I say, okay, what's it going to take? What's it going to take for you to be able to save money to be able to afford the business? Well, I'll have to wait to the end of the month. Okay, let's get it. And then you give them all the benefits to how quickly they can earn that money back. You explain to them that in 2 sales, 3 sales, they're going to earn their money back. Like, they can get their money by the following Friday if they get a few people to join their team. You tell them, lay it out. Tell them how easy it is. We don't do that enough. We do not tell people enough how quickly they can get their money back. Okay. And also, even if they don't like the products, they can get all their money back on these products for 2 months, even if you're an ambassador. That's a new rule. I know you guys probably all know that, but that wasn't always that way. Ambassadors used to have 5 days. The rest of customers had 60. Now everybody has 60. So you're like, with $35 to sign up. And I know money is an issue to a lot of people, and that's a big one. But make sure you're telling them those 2 things: how to make the money back, and that they have a 60-day money back guarantee.
Awesome. And y'all, again, just to give y'all this little background, Roz offered to do this, and I sat back and I thought, obviously we want to hear from people, their stories and everything, but how can I get the most out of Roz? Because I told y'all she is amazing. And so I thought, let's do a question and answer so everyone can see exactly what I'm saying. And how many of you agree with me? Yes.
Well, I like this. I actually like this format better because I don't feel like a broken record. If I do the same thing on all the calls, I enjoy this a lot more. Yeah. I mean, this even makes me think more out of the box. Like the first question about, what I was afraid of when I started. I'm like, I have to throw that on a training now. I haven't ever done that one. So I like it. I like it a lot. But thank you guys so much for having me tonight. This was fun. It's fun to see your faces. I hope I get to see a bunch of you guys at convention. It'll be awesome. I'm very excited.
Well, thank you, Roz. Thank you for being real. Thank you for being a fearless leader of ours that definitely leads with so much grace and integrity, and we just love you to pieces. So
thank you, Brooke. Thank you, guys. And you guys have a fabulous evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.